Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. It's Christmas, so we've got a Christmas themed task for you. So first of all, Merry Christmas. If you're watching this after the event, well, I hope you had a good one. Yes, so we've got a little Santa journey this week. So he shouts to Rudolph saying we've got presents to deliver. I'll shout out the locations, you just get us there. So what we're using is the Harvey Superwalker map, 1 to 25,000. We'll split it over two maps here because we'll need both of those. I've got a licensing agreement with Harvey's to use these maps. So let's see if we can work out where Rudolph took Santa on this journey. So for clue number one, or checkpoint number one, we're looking for the parking at Birchin Clough and then to head northeast to the east end of a distinctive thin gully. So Birchin Clough, head northeastwards, a distinctive thin gully. Can we find that? Well, here's Birchin Clough. So head northeastwards, but we're looking for a distinctive thin gully. So can we see anything in here? Not really, not that matches that description, but if we continue on and up and over the top, we come to this here. So see that where the contours come in on them very, very close together. So we could call that a re-entrance or a gully, but that is distinctive. There's nothing else that looks like it close by. So that there, we're looking for the east end of it. So that was our first location. So the first part of the journey may look something like that. What about the next checkpoint? Number two, a short flat hop to the middle pond. So short and flat, we don't need any contour lines. What can we see? Well, we're looking for some ponds close to here on a flat journey. So what about here? Look, 1, 2, 3 distinctive dots in a line. So we're looking for the middle one of those. That's fairly easy. So that takes us to there. Okay, so the next clue is the quickest way to the 507 trig point. So where's the 507 trig point? Well, that's your trig point symbol. That's your height, 507. And the quickest way is a straight line. But what we've got to think about is, in terms of navigating, in a good visibility would pop up onto this high point to be able to see a white painted trig point. If the visibility wasn't quite as good, then we may want to come down and aim off slightly. So across the river, I'll put down here and aim more up this shoulder here, and then when we hit this path on the top, know to turn left and in. Or another thing we could do is follow this re-entrant up here. See that kink in the contour line up there, and make sure we followed the angle bearing straight up that would lead us up to here, so we know the trig is to our left. But that's the point that we're aiming for there. So our route may look something like that. Okay, well done, Rudy. Strong legs. That was a steep down and up the other side, so definitely need to be strong to do that. Now we need to find a crag in Ravens Clough. So there's Ravens Clough. What about a crag? What's a crag symbol? Well, it is that feature there. So that's what we're looking for. How would we get to that from the trig point? Well, if we went just pretty much due north until we hit the top of Ravens Clough, stayed on the southern side and just went down until we hit that crag, then that is pretty pretty much a good way of doing it. We could go more directly across here and then hit that and in there. So either of those would work. So the route would look something like that. What about our next checkpoint? Okay, we're looking for an isolated crag over 2 kilometers away near Griner Stones, but it's getting foggy, so we need to take the easiest route to navigate. So no straight lines and hoping we get there and can see it. Let's think about navigation techniques on this one. So an isolated crag 2 kilometers away to start with. Okay, well here's Griner Stones, but you can see there's a crag there and then there's quite a long crag there, and a distance from there to Griner Stones is less than 2 kilometers because these are your 1 kilometer grid squares, so we need to be a bit further away. So if we go a little bit further than Griner Stones, we've got this one little isolated crag all on its own there. So that's what we're looking for, but it's foggy, so we need to find a good way of getting there navigationally. So what could we do? Well, we could drop down and head up across this open moorland and get to Griner Stones. So we could do that. It's not really following much of a handrail really, so an alternative, we could go up Griner Grain and up one of these little streams, or keep going up until we got the path and follow that, or we could drop down into the River West End and turn left and look for the second stream coming down from the north and follow that up. If we pull this up on its western side all the way up there, follow that up till we get a Y split and take the right hand split until we hit this path, and then coming along here we could just pace out, measure some distance, maybe 300 meters, and then straight into it that way. So that would work. We could go up this one and take the right hand stream and do similar there, but by following this it's going to take us very close to our destination onto a path, and we could just pace out and then take a final compass bearing north. So that would work, something like that. So that's what our route might look like there, and that's our little crag that we're after. What about our next present drop? So number 6, good use of handrails, Rudy. So yeah, Rudy did get a good line to that one using those streams as handrails. Now to the group of boulders on the 615 meter contour. So can we find that? What are boulders and what's the 615 contour? So all these are boulders, these little black dots. We've got black dots here, black dots here. Contour lines on the Harvey map go up in 15s, so here's the 600, so we're looking for the next contour line up. If we go to this one, we can see we've got this group of boulders bang on that 615 contour line there. So how would we get to that one? Well, we're already on a path, an indistinct path. We could follow that to the first set of boulders and then just contour around on that contour line just to there, and we know we're finding them on a stream there. You see they're actually lying on a stream. So yeah, along to here, contour in, hit the stream, and in we go. That would work. So that's what our route might look like there. What about the next one? Okay, we need to get to the pond on Allport Moor, but it's really foggy. We need a good attack point, but don't take us through the swamp at this time of year. Yeah, the swamp, just by hearing the name, implies that it might be hard going. So the end of December is going to be pretty tricky. So let's see what we can do with this one. So here's the pond on Allport Moor. Here's the swamp. We can see all these streams going in and this marshy ground here. So we definitely want to avoid that. But yeah, how are we going to find that in bad visibility? Well, we've got a choice. We could come down the ridge, drop down into the river Alport, maybe find this stream and follow it up and in, or even find this stream, the one that's running more or less north-south, follow it up and in there. So that's one option. We don't want to straight line it down through the swamp and up there or up that one. That would be a dry weather option. What we have got, you can see here, this grey line here, so this is going to be a fence line. So what we could do, we could hit the fence and follow it around to that junction there. Or not the junction, sorry, the change of angle, and use that as our attack point and come in there. So we've got a couple of options. The shortest one would be down this ridge, just straight follow this bit down here. So let's go for that one, and using these junctions here as an attack point, take us up, and then where it finishes, another attack point, walking in on a bearing. So that would be something like one of the options that we could take. Okay, next one. Not sure about that route, Rudy. So Santa's not convinced of Rudolph's route choice on that one. Anyway, never mind, we're nearly done. Just got to visit the cairn to the southeast. So what's a cairn look like on Harvey's maps? Well, this is one that people sometimes confuse for a trig point. It's that black triangle, that's a large cairn, and that's to the southeast, so that's obviously what we're looking for. How would we get to that? Well, a straight line would take us through quite a lot of wet ground, so we'd probably want to go round through the centre of this this narrowing here, and then swing around, maybe follow one of these streams and just come in to the top there. So let's put that on our map. So that would look like that. All right, nearly done. What's the next one? So the final one, good work. Now back to start and then to the Snake Pass Inn for a sherry. So I've had to zoom out a little bit here, but that's where we got to there. The trig, the cairn on Overwood Moss. Straight back to start. Well, here, that's where we started, in Birching Clough, and then on to the Snake Pass Inn for a sherry. Okay, so the easiest line on that is just straight down the ridge down here, hit the P for parking, and down the road to the pub. However, the bad news for both Santa and Rudolph is that the inn is closed. Yeah, sadly the Snake Inn or Snake Pass Inn just turned into a private residence a few years ago, so no refreshments there anymore. So Santa had to take the journey home, grumbling away, complaining to Rudolph about his route choice to that checkpoint 7. Is that the way that you'd have gone? Anyway, Merry Christmas, folks. Just a little bit of fun to end the year. Hope you found it interesting. Thanks for watching, and as always, look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.